Breathing in love and breathing out love to you all. Healing from narcissistic abuse, I think, is the most important. Either you are right now in a relationship with someone where you can already start healing. I did that while I was still in the relationship. I already did things that we would normally do together, and I did it by myself. If it was a little hike, if it was a concert I went on without him, shopping, for myself. Already when I knew that I was leaving, like as if he didn't existed, like my whole attention didn't go onto that person anymore the way you normally do, the way the narcissist wants it, is that your whole world and opinion is just around their world. And I already did things that I went with a lift cart up into the mountains. I did things when he left for his adventures into the world without me, because I still had to work. I did things that was suddenly totally normal, even though I was in a relationship. The second thing you can do is, while you are in the relationship, already distance yourself from everything. Either you are already distant, which also happened in mine, that you are already emotionally disconnected, you're somehow just in the same room. You can already, as if you're beaming yourself out of the room. I would never do that with anyone who I love around me, who I really love to be around, but someone who agitates you, and if you can say you have an unhealthy relationship right now, you should go, like as if you're watching those two people, yourself and the partner, from an objective point of view. And if you're stuck in that relationship and still have doubts to leave it, the thing is that you have all the evidence that you need to leave. It's all in front of you, but the way the whole game is played is that you still are stuck in that vision that you would like to have. I was so stuck in the vision of what was promised, like either in the future, like if we have one day this car, this whatever, then life will become handsy-pantsy. The evidence is there, but if you don't beam yourself out like out of a movie, you will just be standing there having all the more evidence and being so scared to do that move. But if you objectively watch this, wouldn't it be better to sit in a room just like I am right now by myself and just doing everything else I'm doing without the narc, and you free yourself up with time. The time consummation that a narcissist needs for the daily life is just amazing. You free yourself up from that. The third thing that always has helped me is Katie Byron's thework.com, which means that you can sit down and ask yourself, do I really need this? Like, is this really true that I need, that I always need someone around me no matter how the behavior is? Is that really true? Do I need this? And can I live without this? And if you have the notion that you think, no, I can't live without my partner because I'm fixed on this behavior, because I'm also fixed on it because I wasn't used to other behavior also as a child, you can ask yourself, who would I be without that thought? Like, who would I be, or who would I be without him? Do I have a vision in that direction that is much brighter? Or do I have a vision of being subordinate in that direction? And if someone likes to be subordinate, like as if that is the manager, which I find in some situations, even as a woman, really interesting. I mean, it's not like I want to take control over everything, but what I want to take control of is that the emotions that are spilled out on that way. Why should I let myself be led by someone who has absolutely no emotional connectedness to me? What will be the point? Then it's better to go that direction where I'm alone and might find someone else, and we both walk in light. Instead of my light is always diminished, the light of the partner is not even there. It's like for me, it is a played light. It's as if someone pays for acting. It's emotions are not acted. Emotion is a connectedness, but you're subordinate to someone who just wants to dominate and tell you, once that in the future will happen, then I will become that person that I would like to give you. Not right now. Not right now, because if I do it right now, that wouldn't fit into my plans. So in short, it's like, if you don't see that path brighter, that you're walking alone, then you stay stuck. You stay stuck in that, I don't know how to live my life without, and then all the power is already with the other partner. It's already in. I tested myself. I told myself. I asked myself this question of, can I walk this path? And at the beginning, every time I asked myself these questions, all the alarm clocks went on and went, no, you can't walk this path totally by yourself. And you can, it's just you have to start walking. It's like a journey. You have to start getting to the Everest, so you have to get to the next airport. And the same is with every journey you do. I also healed when I understood that whatever was said was not what was acted. I mean, if you say to someone, you are my everything, and you leave that person for 4 weeks straight on, without the other one really knowing where you are, or you treat a person, you say, you are my everything over daily life, but you don't care about the daily life of someone. It's like you're just saying it. Okay, the words, they get into your ears, into your brain, you think you're loved, everything is good, but the actions don't correspond. It's more like a hating game, and that's what makes you crazy. It's whatever is said towards you didn't resemble what was totally needed in that moment in that relationship. And there would have been moments where you have to get much nearer together emotionally, and the moment you would have time for that was always spent on something else. The time that was there suddenly was not there to really connect again. And but the words that were said before that time came to connect were always like, when in 3 weeks when we are in Rome, or when we are doing this and that, we will connect, then we will have time. And never happened. So the behavior and what comes out of those eyes, just to like, it's, they tell you they want you near, but how their whole behavior is, how their whole body language is like, no, stay over there. I don't want intimacy. I don't want to be near, because that is, I want it somehow, but no, you stay over there. That's enough. And it doesn't make sense. If you really think about it and you go into this objectivity of it, is not even as a friend you would act like this with someone. So another way I healed was after going through weeks of should I go, should I stay, am I doing the right thing, is this the wrong decision in my life, is when you suddenly have a week. I had a week where I said, okay, I'm really going. It was like suddenly it came to me. And it wasn't like I picked up the phone and said to that person, you know what, now I just did my decision, I'm doing a different road. But when that decision came, it was really, even though it hurt, it was clarity. It was suddenly for me where I thought, you will give up so many things and you will fall into such a hole, but you will gain so much. As I said, you would gain time, you will gain, what do I want in a day? What do I want from my next holiday? What do I want from a daily life? You will have to you will have to sort that out much more with yourself. But the moment that decision, if I think about it, that decision went into my system and I wanted to tell everyone, that is healing. Because otherwise we would have just dumpled and I would have done another year in that little village and I would have done this and of course, and are you happy at the moment? Ask yourself, are you happy at the moment? And if you say no, I must say, that's what I said to myself, if I'm not happy at the moment, then I have to be worth being happy. But how do I get to this happiness? I have to first eliminate people who don't put logs into my fire. But the narc will always tell you, you know what, you should be doing your big dream of painting, of whatever, what has always been your dream, you should do it. But doesn't behave in that way. Like taking all my time away so I never could paint. There are so much senseless things, so always ask yourself, are you happy right now? Are you happy right now? And who is responsible for that happiness? Are you waiting like in a cave that someone comes by your door and tells you the nicest things but acts totally different and you even let them in? I mean, first your parents acted already this awkwardness in front of you and then you let another partner into this. Of course, afterwards, now being healed, it feels like, why did I do that? And why did I do that is, I probably did it out of egoistic motives. Because what they tell you, and everyone knows with a narc that they go through this world where you are just spun into like an amusement park, like one date after the other, one beautiful sentence after the other, and suddenly they can't hold this energy anymore towards you because they don't have a high meaning and a high opinion of you. They tell you that they have. Everything they tell you, if I would have known before, that is the opposite of what they are thinking. They are thinking you are stupid. They are really thinking when they get up, you are stupid. But it's easy, you're easy to handle, you're easy not to catch, but you're easy to handle and to like a little cat with a mouse, you're easy to put into that corner, into that corner. And as soon as that way without the narc is clear for you, even if you go through hell a bit at the beginning, but as soon as it's clear, you know behind that is a lot of light. But if you go that way, you marry and you have children, there's not much light for you left. I always thought at every airport of my life where I was with the narc, how would it be right now with children running in this whole situation? And I would say this is my husband. He's running away from me and has a stupid opinion of me, but well, it's okay. So you are tolerating the worst behavior, and you're asking yourself, why am I not happy? And you cannot heal if you don't forgive yourself. You forgive yourself. There is a shame behind this. I mean, there were moments where I thought, I can't tell this to anyone right now in my friends circle, what just happened. Then I thought, okay, then I'll just bury it, whatever happened, bad behavior, stupid talking, bad opinions about everything, even towards me, diminishing like a self-value that is hardly earned, coming out of parents who never thought about my self-worth. That was a hard-earned self-worth that you have to build up. So normally why we don't leave is really this shameful feeling we have. I mean, somehow we are also awkward in this situation. We're giving them the stage. We're giving them the stage so they can act out their grandiosity of you are allowed to be in it. And you have to follow. You give them all your power. You give them a grandiosity stage, and you're watching this every evening. I had to forgive myself that I felt ashamed, that I already felt it at the beginning, right at the beginning of seeing. I was like how do you say a cat? You know the cats when they are in February and August. When they hunt other cats, I had a feeling of that, like this was more of a hunting scene than this genuine. We really met, and now I feel that my heart is open. Yeah, you have to forgive yourself, and it's also a thing. If you walk out that door, you will fall into a hole, which really hurts. You will be so ashamed by yourself that you think everyone saw it coming, just not you. You will be ashamed that you overlooked red signs, even on purpose, because you thought, okay, everyone has their failures in life, and you think, if I take another partner, then who knows what he has. So you are ashamed that you didn't trust your own opinion, and this voice that was always talking to you didn't even have time to do it, because some narcs probably, they make you adrenaline rushes throughout the whole day. It's like I couldn't think. It's the first time I can even think and really digest everything and watch videos over it. But the forgiving thing is, in my massage practice, the Hawaiians, the old shamans of the kahunas from Hawaii, they always say, just tell that person in your thoughts that you love them, that you love yourself, that you forgive them, that you forgive yourself, which is the most important, and that you're sorry that you also were a part of the game, because as soon as I give someone the stage, I'm giving him the allowance to do it. You know, no one else would be able to do it, but he had the allowance from me to do it. So if you do that over years, after all this crazy making, you just feel like, it was also my fault. You know, I had my own part in this. And for all the adrenaline rushes that were running, like all the special dates around the whole world and planned, and one airport after the other, one transport system after the other, I had to forgive myself. That was in that moment more important than looking after myself. I can't possibly think for myself, just my healing journey. It had to be somewhere else. I couldn't stay in places where he has been to. It doesn't matter if it was a foreign country or also at home base. Everywhere where he was doesn't have the feeling that I needed right after I broke up. So I do recommend for healing going to somewhere totally different, because you have a total different daily life. You have to adapt to so much things that the flashbacks get lesser and lesser and lesser, and then suddenly they dissolve, because now you've built up so many memories by yourself where he has where he isn't a part of anymore. So that those are now how I did it, and there are so many memories that the flashbacks have even stopped. No one would have thought that half a year ago, but they stop. And also planning maybe from one country to another country, so that you're already in the head, not thinking about and comparing your life, which is the most abstract thing in your head, that if you would have stayed in that life and that path, your brain even tells you, oh, you might have had a nice life then, which is not true. It's just, if you would go back and you would just stay 1 week with that person again, I think they said that there were studies where people went back because they wanted a quick fix of whatever they were searching for, adrenaline probably. And I think if you are already very far on your healing path and you go into that situation again, I think after 2 days, one day you would just start laughing that you were daydreaming of comparing a life that they told you would be really, really good, which is not the case. Another way of healing is doing things that couples normally do and enjoying it. Like, I go to the beach and you just have couples running around with dogs, and you just sit there, and as if that person that you would always dream of is already sitting with you. It's yeah, just do things like go to the cinema, eat in a restaurant, go out, and don't sit in front of the TV. The TV is just like another blabber box, and you already had a blabber box. It's just blabbering. Always inform knowledge, very important. All videos helped me, books helped me, and really contemplating on what do I want from my life is maybe is it a relationship? Isn't it a relationship? And then I'm like, yeah, but you can't order a relationship. It's not like you can say, oh, but I would love one, but at the moment I don't have one. So I do everything with myself. If I'm cooking or walking, going shopping, I do it as nicely as if there was someone really amazing waiting for me at home. And I became my best friend. I was already my best friend, but being in such a retreat like I am right now, in another country, getting totally new experiences of everything, and the Italian lifestyle isn't hard to beat. I mean, the eating is amazing. You have your pizza, spaghetti, pasta, and everything, which fulfills you in a way that is unbelievable. So, yeah, do everything. Then, if that person, the next one, comes in, I think then you're already in the right state of mind and in the right attitude to move on, instead of, after all the forgiveness and you have had a healing retreat, you can go on to something new. Just by being, I couldn't imagine just being home and just, I would just be like a whale on the couch, which I'm normally never. Then there's no new input. I mean, you have everything. You have your washing machine, you have your cooking, you have everything around. If you're traveling, I have to see, do we have a washing machine? Where is the next one? What do I do in that next city? It's just, it does something different to you, and you have to act, you have to move. At home, on the couch, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything with yourself. Also, how you budget your whole journeys and where you want to stay. If you want to stay in a luxury apartment maybe one night, and then stay in a hostel the other 2 nights, and see Paris and do things, that's all possible. Why do I need a person around me if it's not at the moment possible? And as soon as that person comes in and sees how you worked on yourself, maybe you're lucky and you get someone who's worked on themselves too, and you're not together with someone who is so narcissistic to give you the feeling of I hate you but I want you near me, because that's what should be written as a tattoo on their forehead. It's nice that you're around, you have a nice light, but I'll keep you in a few weeks or months on distance because of this and this and that, and you said no to me with this and you said no to me with that, and yeah, exhausting. So I say traveling alone, and you have your own pace of traveling. These whole 3 months that I granted myself here, different pace, different energy in a room, different sphere. I can only recommend it. If it makes more fear to you, then you would enjoy it, or it's not possible because of work contracts that you have at the moment. Do it for 3 days wherever you are. Go to the next country. If you're in Austria, go to Germany. If you're in Germany, go to Poland. If you're in Poland, just go and create your own world in which you can attract that person who you would love to be with. That's healing. Self-talk to yourself, which you already have when you are with a narc, where you are totally crazy inside because you think this I can't tell anyone, this scene now with that person, when I don't know which stage you are in your relationship right now, but when you are with a narc, you've been crazy made inside, and that self-talk, that has to be replaced. Even if you are in that relationship right now, even if you don't want to leave, the only thing you can do is always, when I think, I was always told things about my job that brought me down, like, really bad. And in that moment when that happened, I always had to re-switch myself, because the narc didn't know what kind of nice experiences I had over the day with my other customers, and also the reference points I had in my whole life being in my job. So you have to really quickly find a system to re-switch your self-talk in a way of, when they say something, even if it's a nice thing, I would always question it. I'm your everything. You're my one and only. I even question that at the end. I can only be my one and only, and if I say that to someone else, then I'm really married. Then that is that person. And how do I behave towards that person if I tell someone you're my one and only? Don't I marry that person, and don't I leave all my bullshit from work and at home, and try to be the best version that I can at home? So talking is the one thing with them which you have to keep up with if you're still in it. But even there, you can objectively get out of it and tell yourself, you know what, that's not true. Whatever he just said, it's not true. If he says beautiful things to you still, take them in, and as if you would be saying it to yourself. So I told myself then, okay, I am my one and only. I just have myself, and it doesn't matter which country. I just have myself. That's true what he's saying. I am my one and only. And how would I treat myself as my one and only? Would I take myself on bike rides? Would I eat dinner in a beautiful Italian restaurant? What would I do with myself? And suddenly, even before I left, I had the feeling of, I can do this with myself. I'll date myself. I am now, for instance, dating myself in a city that I wanted to see, and I want to have a picture of at a certain place, so I'm dating myself. I have my own date in a certain city at a certain location, not interested if that person is with me or not anymore. And I already did these things in small while being with an arc. That was the first sign that I think I was already on my healing process, that, doing it by myself, even in the relationship. So if you're too afraid, you still have, I don't know, it's not even a security if you stay in a relationship, it's just a made-up security. But you can still stay in that relationship if you want, and think, okay, this secures me in some kind of a way, but I'm having fun on the day. And that is something a narc doesn't understand, because they think, why can't she do it with me? What's the problem with me? But they won't understand it. They will never understand it. You can talk with them 10 hours in the evening. They will never understand what your own needs are. But if you don't know what your own needs are, then of course 2 people are in the room who don't know how to please you. So come up with things that please you. For me, it's music, traveling, writing, painting, talking, having good conversations with people that I really love, that I visit, that I know that they smile when you come through the door, and not just say something and act a different way. Another way I healed was that I was normally not that person who believed in these Prince Charming stories, not even as a kid. Where, like in Pretty Woman, where at the end they come by with flowers and everything. I never believed in that, but the thing is, the narc sweeps you away into this fairy tale thing that I was like, I could write a book about what I just experienced on dates and words and cuddles, and the way he dragged me through water. Well, I thought that's it. I never have to think about anything else in life, and that's what they want. They want you, and the thing is, you are giving them the stage too. It's not just that he wanted it. I wanted to not be, to not do the work of occupying myself with myself. Like in that relationship, I didn't have one ounce of breath to breathe. Even if we went together in sometimes for weeks, somehow they can make it that you always think, what are they doing right now? Are they in the gym? Are they at home? What are they doing? Like they always have a notion to put your thought process into their thought process, that there is not much room left of your own thought process. And that I found very, very sad, that I didn't find that time to see who I was with that age of mine, with my happiness. So being in this relationship and not wanting to break free is also a bit of, no, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with myself. And to be self-confident and happy, you have to deal with yourself. And the sad part about it is, if you stay with this relationship until the end, until you die, you stay in an unhealthy relationship. What would you like to say when you come up to paradise and they say, and how was your life? Do you want to say, yes, I was in an unhealthy relationship. Wow. All my life, I didn't see any other option. Just see two other options. And they won't be worse than what is already bugging you. Even though taking back control of your own life and all the decisions that you have to make suddenly again by yourself really means that you are back in control, because with the partnership of a narcissist, you are not in control. And you gladly give this control to someone else. You gladly give it to them. The thing by taking back control is that you have a lot of work to do. Your daily life will switch in a total different direction. But as I said, whatever the energy they took away, they also freed up. Like there's a freed up space. First it feels like you're in an empty room, in a vacuum, where they even take out the air, because they also cannot understand what happened, because they think whatever they have laid out for you is the best version for you, and never asked what your version of life is. They just had theirs. So yeah, getting back control is healing. I'm back in my seat of the soul. I am back, driving my heart in my pace, the way I walk, how many steps I do. That was not possible before. There were so many anxiety rushes of future goals that were suddenly laid out that you had to achieve. It was like going to school, and every single year, not only did the pressure grow with something new to learn, it went like already from monthly, very, very pressury, real pressure. And I was then at the end asking myself, what am I doing this for? Is this my soul journey? Is this really, you have to ask yourself, is this the journey that my soul picked? Am I really doing this with full consciousness? Aren't I there by free will? I healed because I asked myself, of course when you get together with someone, everything intertwines very quickly, very rapidly with a narcissist. And to untangle all these things, I can't imagine if I would have married and had children with this situation right now. It's just, but taking back the control seat, no matter what, your biggest fears, write them down and then come up with 10 things that it won't show up, that fear that you're going to write down. I can tell you that. We are the master movie creators of really bad movies. We should really become much more imaginative of what is really possible in life, in a good way, because every fear you'll have won't even come true. So we are fearing a fear that won't even come true. We're really good in this, no? We really should We should put up boundaries that we didn't put up as a child. I couldn't tell my parents, you know what, I'm fed up right now. I'll pack my bags and I will see where I can get with $10. I should have done that already as a child. I should have had that moment to say, but it's also comfortable. You go back to your own bed and then suddenly that narc comes into that bed too. Everything is just so comfortable and so hard because the daily life is already hard. So why should I mess up my private life right now? Because then that will affect my work life and I will be totally alone. So instead of being totally alone, I'll rather put up with that. For what? Why should you put up with that? That is the most important part of life. That is the most important security part of life, of having a secure connection in words. If you are not even friends, like you are with everyone else, what is the point even for an intimate relationship with a narcissist? And the narcissist sees love totally different. And a narcissist will... I always said I was amazed when I heard the story of Elvis, who said to Priscilla Presley that he saw her as a goddess and took everything on his tours that was left, right and center. And I think that that can be like a twist in the head that why do you want to be intimate with a person that has no connection to themselves? Has absolutely no connection to themselves. Isn't love making the most intimate, normally sacred thing two people can have together? I mean, you just have it with one person, and that person is not connected to themselves. I don't know. Write down 3 things that are really good right now in your relationship. And you wouldn't be able to. And I always say if there are not 3 things, then on the other hand, I always say also to myself, if I don't have 3 things that speak against me leaving, 3 things, and I couldn't come up with 3, and that's when I left. That's my little work process. If I can't come up with 3 things that would hold me there, and the only thing that would have held me there would have been money, that was for me too little standard to live when I'm 80, 90, looking back and having the regret of being with someone who will never understand me. And my responsibility is to understand myself so that I don't stay a riddle to everyone else and to myself. I don't want to die with 90 and say I don't know who I am. So become your best friend by deciding the right things and trying to heal. Understand you are together with a narcissist. The narcissist has made you really miserable. They are soul destroyers. I know that's not possible, but it feels like it. That your soul is like, I don't want to anymore. It's like, I've had enough. The soul just gives up and gets really tired. So once you've understood all of these things, watch out that this miserable feeling that you have had through that relationship, that is not a standard of life. That is not the standard one should go through in any case, and it is abuse. Emotional abuse comes through words, comes through how someone treats you, and how does someone treat you through words and through behavior. And look back, you've been through enough. You've been through enough. I had enough. I've had enough of parents being like that. I've had enough of that partner being like that. A straight line, a straight solution for yourself. If you decide to stay, it's also a straight solution. Then any film, I can't convince anyone, but the healing process will only come if you leave, because then you can stand your ground. Then life can open up to you. Life at the moment is knocking, and all you're doing is saying not right now. Just not right now. I don't want to heal. Healing feels icky healing feels not right at that moment, which is also good because everything has its time. But I just wanted to tell you how I healed, and I didn't know it was possible. I was the last one who thought it was possible. So all I can do is say it is possible.